To our roundtable discussion for today. This morning, we're having a very important conversation. We're talking about something that, we've seen for a long time, we've seen as a very big problem in this country. I mean, it's a challenge that affects every Ghanaian. But we're looking at a different perspective on that today. Now, when we talk about waste, we often think about, overflowing bins, choked drains. We're looking at littered streets, and the health risks that come with poor sanitation and all of that. But what if we've been looking at the issue the wrong way? Now, tomorrow and Saturday, we're told that the president has announced 2 days of national cleaning. But we're asking a broader question: that can our waste problem become an economic opportunity? Now, around the world, several countries are actually using waste to do, several things. It's driving billion-dollar industries in recycling and manufacturing, renewable energy, and the circular economy, and all of that. How do we move beyond those 2 days of cleanup exercises to actually building a thriving sanitation economy? And that's what we're talking about this morning. My guests are already here and they are ready to have the conversation with me this morning. I have Georgina Odum. She is the founder she's the CEO of Useful Waste Limited. The name alone actually sends a particular signal, and so that says she joins me over the phone lines, as well as engineer Dr. Ahmed Ishahaku, and he is a general manager of the Sewage Systems Ghana Limited, and he also joins me over the phone lines. I'll later be joined by Christopher Jan Mensah. He is the founder of Sesan Recycling. He is in the field as well, and these are the three individuals I'll be having this conversation with this morning. Let me start with the ladies. Of course, they say ladies first, and so Lady Georgina, good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing super good. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing well too, by God's grace. Thanks so much for making time to join us this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, fantastic. Also, engineer Dr. Ahmed Ishahaku. Doc, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. I'm going good. I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
doing
for having me.
fantastic. Thank you so much. You're all live on Z101.9 FM. All right, so let's get into our conversation. We'll be joined by Christopher as we go on this morning. Now, maybe a quick opener. When most Ghanaians hear the word waste, they think of, something dirty that should be thrown away. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? And I want to start with you, Georgina, because, the name of your company is Useful Waste. Tell us what comes to your mind.
Okay, good morning and thank you to our listeners this morning. This is a good topic that it calls for national attention. So I'm very grateful we are having it this morning and I'm part of the people discussing it. Your first question, let me chip in into the name Useful Waste, because Useful Waste answers my question, answers the question you just asked. To others, they see waste, but to we at Useful Waste, we see wealth. That tells you whatever people are taking waste to be, we don't see it like that. We see it as how nature created its own way of giving a different business by turning other things we have used into something different that can create wealth. That is how we see waste. So we don't have the eye to see waste just as everybody is seeing it. People are seeing it as waste, but we are seeing it as a different useful material that can create wealth.
Just to double click on that, at what point did you start seeing waste like that?
Okay, at somewhere 2020, when we were hit by COVID, I was working on a project with Christian Valley Municipal Assembly. It was on a national sanitation challenge. It was a competition that was a nationwide thing that some assemblies and their partners were doing. So I was having an NGO. So the assembly wrote to me that we can see that you are doing something on the environment, but there was this national sanitation challenge that we think, based on the ideas you have, you can support the assembly to compete in that competition. So that brought me full time into the waste management system. So after the sanitation challenge, I saw that I had been able to acquire a lot of knowledge on that field. So I told myself there was something I can do. And around that time, 2018, 2019, 2020, Christian Muni Valley was facing a lot of challenges with regards to waste management. So I came in as someone who has acquired a lot of knowledge and has been exposed to most of the challenges we have on waste management or sanitation around. So I decided to go into that, to bring all the knowledge I have acquired to be able to solve some of the community problems. So that brought me
into
to where I am today. So I started as a Ginodum waste management with one tricycle, with my rider and myself, going homes to evacuate waste with people. And one thing is, mine started with an innovation. Because I saw that people were generating, dumping indiscriminately, burning everywhere within Christian Valley. So after those community engagements, I got to know that the system of waste collection should be strengthened. But people are complaining at how ineffective people were at that time, those waste evacuated. So I said, I can do something about it. But the people need to get dustbins, of which I was not having the money to buy those dustbins and be given to them. So it became a burden for me to think of getting an innovation through which I can create a dustbin. So as I was thinking along, speaking to people and cracking my brains around it, I got to know that waste car tires are on the street and people are burning them everywhere. So I tried to do something with it. So my innovation, Gene Odum Waste Management Services, started with collecting waste car tires on the street, adding value to it, that is painting them to make it look attractive, then designing a cover for it. So you put a bin liner into that dustbins, which has been joined together. You put your rubbish in it. You do the waste segregation from home. So that is how I started it. I started with the home waste segregation method. So I give you 2 dustbins. That is the car tie. That is our innovation was termed using waste materials in solving waste problems.
Okay.
So we add value to the car tie. We paint them to differentiate them. The green one is for organic waste. The yellow or the red one is for general waste. So I come to your house, I explain this concept to you. If you agree to it, I give you some.
And you do it, right.
You put your waste in it, I come for the evacuation, then you pay me at the end of the month. So that is how I started it. Along the way, I saw that I need to do more of the advocacy for people to understand whatever I'm doing. So I designed a radio program. It was being hosted every afternoon. So it was termed Good Afternoon, like Memawaha in our local dialect, Memawaha. So every Monday afternoon, Friday afternoon, I'm hosting that program on Best FM and Fact FM in Bogoso to get the attention of the people. So this is how I started.
I see. Right. So I mean, it's very interesting. So already we are hearing that waste is more than rubbish. And I mean, of course, it can be a resource. It can be a business opportunity and even a driver of economic growth. Let me hear from Dr. Ahmed as well. Doc, yes, you've been listening to Georgina speak. Tell me what also comes to your mind when we talk about, or when you see what we call waste. What comes to mind first?
Yes, good morning once again. Thank you for having me, Madam Georgina and everyone, our listeners. Good morning. Yes, the mention of waste, depending on maybe the person's background, tells you how the person also takes it.
Yeah.
The ordinary person, as Georgina mentioned, is a trash or something, a dirt that is not needed. To an engineer or a technical person, when you mention waste, three things come to his mind. That is the state of matter that is not needed. That's solid or liquid or gaseous. Even some even bring medical. Okay. And then for a businessman or an entrepreneur, the mention of waste, the only thing that sound is a resource. So the mention of waste, depending on these three areas, this is how the mention of waste sounds. Thank you very much, Amon.
I see. All right. Anyway, but you, as someone who works in the sector every single day, what would you say Ghana's biggest waste management problem is today?
Yes, thank you very much, Amon. You see, there are several philosophies regarding our challenges in the sanitation or the waste management area. You remember, as I mentioned earlier, depending on the persons, let's say an engineer sees it as a state of matter, whether it's a solid waste, it's a liquid waste, or a gaseous, unwanted material. Now, you realize that every country first have to define the direction, how the country wants to go, and we call it policy, right? Now, you realize that Ghana, we have environmental sanitation policy developed in 2010. Forget about the past history. Assuming we are taking a very good, we are making a good takeoff on 2010. We are guided by the environmental sanitation policy. And it mentions waste management and these solid matter states are inside. Solid waste, liquid waste, storm management. It's about 10 areas it mentioned in the sanitation policy. But the question is, what we have carved out and documented, are we implementing it? Example, it says that solid waste management should be managed for entire chain, from the collection to the transportation to the treatment and disposal. But I will confirm that one of the most difficult part or area we have not done well over the years is the treatment part. Is the treatment. Because even in the same sanitation policy, it mentioned that treatment will mean segregation, treatment will mean composting, treatment will mean recycling. After all this, before you go to disposal, and it recommends engineered landfill. So this is one of the major areas, the treatment part,
Right.
segregation, composting, recycling, then before the engineered landfill disposal. This is the major part we have not done well. We have done well in the point of collection and so, but the treatment part is the most problematic area. Yes, so this is what I would say for now.
That's what you say.
It
Right. I
doesn't
mean,
mean the collection part there's no problem. There are problems. Yes.
I see. I just trying to give it some bit of context. Will you say that it's more of a technical problem? Because I mean, some people argue that it is behavioral. Ghana's waste, sorry, waste management problem is behavioral. Some people say it is technical. So, for context sake, would you say, are you saying that it's technical? Hello, Doc. If you're speaking, we
Yes.
can hear you. Yeah.
Please, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yes. You see, it is a combination of all these factors. Okay. See, one, the generation is the people that generate, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't collect it in a very nice way, it becomes behavioral, right? The people. It is. I'll give you more examples. It is also technical. Why is it technical? Are there appropriate infrastructures along the entire chain when it comes to waste management? People are more familiar with the solid waste management, so we'll be limiting ourselves there. Are there infrastructure for the entire chain?
Right.
Now, you see that we have storm drains, and others. Storm management have been mentioned in our policy. Do we have adequate storm infrastructure for drainage? They have blocked. All those blockages, where are they coming from? It is our behavior, our attitude. Where are the rubbish coming from? Look from Odo running through Kole to the sea. All those silt and rubbish, where are they coming from? It's from our actions. We are trying to give examples so that we can appreciate.
Right.
Than to listen that it is this, it is this. No, we give you practical examples from Odo, from Nima, Odo, Circle, right to Jamestown, Kole Lagoon to the sea. It's our actions. So this is the behavioral part. When we talk about the technical, which is the infrastructure, why should flood comes when it rains up to some amount of volume? There's inadequate infrastructure. This is the technical part. So it's a combination of all these.
Right.
Look at the Ramsey issue where we have the Sakumono Lagoon. Why is the natural buffer not working? Because people have built on the on the waterway. So the flow of the water is being interrupted. These are our actions.
Okay.
You understand? So it's a combination.
Right.
It's a combination. Thank you very much.
Right, good. Let me also bring in Georgina on the same question so that I can now bring Christopher is here already in studio with me, and I'm going to bring him into the conversation shortly. But Georgina, what do you also see? Do you think that it is more behavioral or more technical, the waste problem in this country? Hello, Georgina. If you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
To me, it is all the three engineer made mention of. One, behavioral, which is the first one. Our attitude towards how we treat nature is very bad. We dump indiscriminately, we burn anyhow. We don't care about anything we do to the environment. That is number one. Number two, policies. We have the policies there documented, but they are not well implemented. That is another challenge. Yes, the people are not behaving well. That is why we have those policies. That is why we have measures to curtail that. But if we don't go by the measures, people act anyhow.
Right.
So that is another one. And aside that, I think after the policies, we are not looking at the business aspect of how we manage our waste. We are not thinking of that. We keep complaining about unemployment. We keep complaining about how we need more of the youth to get something to do. We are not bothered about why our youth are always eager to travel outside. And mind you, they are eager to travel, not to go and do any white collar job. They are going to do the job that we are not focusing on here. So all these three things come together. It will be good. Each and every government will have the eye of seeing waste as wet but not waste.
All right.
Creating all avenues to create more employment there. Let me come in with this. At Useful Waste Limited, after we don't just collect the waste. After the waste segregation, we are into production of organic compost. And I'm telling you, our major challenge has been funding to be able to produce in large scale quantity. Looking at the geographical location of the business, we are in the midst of mining companies and illegal mining companies all over. Galamsey is huge in Prisia, Huni Valley, and Amenfi East. So sometimes even getting people to work with is a challenge. But if you have the resources that can make the work easier, we will be able to do a lot. We manage a municipal landfill site in Bogoso. It's a 10-acre land that the government have for as a waste landfill. But trust me, they are dumping there with nothing going on. It is Useful Waste who is doing the sorting and Lucky enough, we have people that we set the segregated waste to. As I'm speaking to you now, last night I was in Kumasi at the scrap yard. I'm selling metals, I'm selling aluminiums, I'm selling copper, all from this waste. Aside that, the organic waste, at my own small way, I'm producing organic compost waste, which I sell to farmers and individuals who use them for their backyard gardens and horticulture purposes. One individual. So imagine government is having its eye on waste management. Our landfill site alone can create a lot of employment. So it is the three. It is the three.
I see. All right. Very good point. So you've spoken about the attitude bit of it. You've spoken about the enforcement. In fact, you've mentioned financing as well as one of the problems. All right. I have Christopher Jan Mensah. He is the founder of CISA. Is it CISA? Yes, CISA Recycling. Christopher, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning to my senior members, Doug and Georgina. This sanitation issue is a big deal,
right?
Which we actually have to look at it from a bigger picture. Speaking in that way, and I think this morning we are saying that Kun Landfill is almost getting to the closure.
Yeah,
we've not seen anything yet.
Why do you say that?
Yes, so this is because we still want to do cleaning, forgetting about where the waste is going to go to or the final disposal site. Because now what we are seeing now, just yesterday I drove through from Abelempe through Pig Farm. You could see heaps of waste lying across the street, and I asked myself, are we going to do a cleanup Friday, Saturday, and where is this waste going to? Because now these tricycle guys travel all the way from Accra to Kobnando, that's around Fete, central region, before they dispose of their waste. So now if a tricycle guy comes to you and to collect your waste, be expecting that you'll be paying more. Because there's no way, probably if previously he was taking you probably like 30 cedis, he'll be taking you more, because now he has to travel to a long distance
to be able to
dispose of the waste.
In fact, this morning in the news, I've seen that there are some people who are calling for us to ban them altogether, and I'm like, if you ban these people, do you know what is going to happen to us? In fact, if you look at what is happening now with let me not mention the company, but there's a company that has been taking off without any other alternative and all of that, and people are complaining, and so it looks like it's a big thing. Anyway, but let's come in line with exactly what we're discussing this morning, the business side of it. Now, you are a young person, people are going into tech, people are going to fintech and doing all kinds of things, but you decided to go work in waste, and I'm curious, what did you see in the space that made you go into that?
I would say it's part, as my dear colleague said, Georgina said, the way we treat nature. So it's about you understanding where you live and having the commitment to do to safeguard the nature in which you live. So I always tell people it's about passion and finding yourself where you want to protect the environment. So finding myself in this space, I have a background in the environment because I knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
That is why I ventured into that space. Well, the waste management space has a lot of opportunities, but then it needs more of finances, because you need to get people to understand. So we are talking about mindset. We have to change the mindset of people. So with this current issues that is happening, I believe the local government and private individuals should use this opportunity to probably invest in young entrepreneurs who are into the waste management, promote green businesses. We have institutions training people about in terms of waste management, but what are they doing? They're actually handicapped and they don't know what to do. So I believe opening up opportunities for people, we should make the market very viable so that people can actually venture into it to promote safeguard the environment as well, because we need to understand that the environment is key. If we disregard the environment, that is where we find ourselves in, as it happened in 29th June.
I see. Then that's as it happened just last week. But I mean, once you're getting into the space, some people think you were making the wrong choice.
Yes, and I always recall some siblings asking me why I'm doing this. Because when we started doing engagement with school children. So we started with recovery of the plastics from schools.
Okay.
So with the schools, we realized that when schools are on vacation, what do we do next? So then we had to add the community into it. And from 2019 to date, we've been able to grow gradually, and we still keep growing. So we believe that young people should be encouraged to venture into the waste industry. It's not only about collecting the trash, because these tricycle guys that we see around, they are people not from Greater Accra.
That's true.
They are people traveling all the way from the northern sector, even neighboring countries.
Some of them are from Nigeria and all of that.
So when we ask ourselves, the scrap yards, those who go around collecting the scraps, where are they from?
Yeah.
Majority of them are not Ghanaians. I can see that majority, more than like 80% are not Ghanaians. And we now have to rely on them. It shouldn't be the case that it's going to be like other countries where we have to say, go back. No. we have to manage our own waste and do it very well.
But I mean, some people say that there's no money in the sector.
There is.
There's money?
There is. That's what I'm saying. It's about investment. There is. Even though we are struggling in terms of the scraps issues, because, Ghana has a lot of things in terms of international treaties, which actually also helps us in terms of making sure that we are being able to utilize these materials that we are recovering, because every waste has a value.
Okay.
The bottles, there's metals, the electronic devices, the clothes, the textile wastes, each and every material has value. Depends on how your mindset or your thoughts tells you about this material. Because I have this phone, as soon as this phone goes off, dies off, I have to discard off the battery. The battery is a resource. The phones that we use has a content of gold in it. Why are now people going around buying old phones?
Old phones, yeah.
Because there's value in it. So every material that we see in our community has value.
Right.
That is why we have to prioritize. I always don't want to blame the government, but I believe that the system is not really helping us. The infrastructure is not really helping us.
What do you mean by that?
So I always have an issue with the local assemblies. Because why do we have to sit down for people to build without going to see where they are building? I was fortunate to at least have an internship with a local government. They have to be on the ground to ascertain. It's not about going around writing stop work. The stop work won't help the issue.
Okay.
As soon as the person brings a document, guide the person through it, this location, because you already have the maps for the various areas.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that we are hitting the ground to know where this person is building, if whether it is good or bad. Just, I think last week I was in Volta. So when we were traveling through the Adome Bridge towards I think a junction, I realized that someone is building up a fuel station along a waterway. And fortunately for me, I had a friend of mine who works with EPA, and I asked him, what are they doing about this? And he said, yes, they've taken a step to stop the person, but they don't have the power. Order from above, allow the person, because the person is going to heap the fuel station for it to come up, now diverting the waterways. Also issues about drainage or waterways. Always when we are constructing roads, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but then I feel when the bridges are constructed, they don't mind where the waterway is going to. At least when the bridges are being constructed, there should be a guard along where the waterway is heading towards to.
Right.
Example is the Winneba stretch or Goma Treko. You see that the bridge has been constructed, but you realize that because of when we were doing the construction, there was a diversion. But then when the bridge has been constructed, those diversion they've been left wayward.
Okay.
So then when there's an overflow, meaning that other people who have farms within the community will find themselves wanting.
Right.
And this issue about waste is not only about Greater Accra. Because these peri-urban areas and rural areas, they resort to burning their waste. And burning of the waste is also going to cause a lot of more issue. But how sustainable can we manage the waste management issues within our own context? Is it that we are going to improve on our engineering system? Are we going to invest? We have companies, we have Agricorp, we have a whole lot who some of them have the structures. How best can we improve upon this system?
Some of these things. All right. Okay, Christopher, I can see how passionate you are about this, and I know that when it comes to waste, a lot of people have problems with that and all of that. But I want us to, try and stick to the business so that anybody at all that is listening to us will be able to, get the business angle of the conversation we're having. But just hold on for me. Let me announce the phone lines in case anybody wants to join the conversation. Well, if you just tuned in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nitrebi Hammond, exactly 9:30. And this morning we're having a conversation on the business of cleanliness, how we can be able to turn our waste management problem in this country or challenges into something meaningful, into economic opportunity for all of us. I guess three. I have in studio Christopher John Mensah. He is the founder of Sesa Recycling, and also I have over the phone lines Madame Georgina Odum. She is the CEO of Useful Waste, and also Dr. Ahmed Isaaku. He is with the Ghana Sewage Systems Limited. And then he has also joined us over the phone line. So you are free to join the conversation. Send us a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019. Or you can also call us on that same number, or call us on 030-3956-641, 030-3956-641, and then we give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with us this morning. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH, and on YouTube we're at Z Multimedia. Feel free to also drop some comments there, and we'll read them for you. All right, let me come back to you, Doc. Doc, now Christopher has spoken a bit about, the opportunities that exist in the space and all of that. And we're going to go deeper into some of those opportunities so that anybody who is listening to us can get to, understand exactly what is in there. Now, I want to hear from you along those same lines. You were talking early on about the flooding problem. And I mean, the fact that, we blame that on poor sanitation and all of that, and there are other things. Now, tomorrow, the president says that let's do some cleanup exercise for 2 days. But we've seen this before. Why is it that after some of these cleanup exercises, the problem still returns? What exactly is the cause of that, Doc?
Yes, thank you very much, my brother Hammond. Yes, you see that Georgina and Chris, they are very passionate about this waste management area. It's a very lucrative business if you do it very well. Now, coming to the cleanup exercise, Hammond, do you know when this cleanup exercise started? Or some call it sanitation day, some call it cleanup exercise, operation clean your front. It started from Nkrumah Day, and it ran through every successive government that came to the current government. Even the first term of this current government, there was something like that. Now, cleanup exercise. It means something is missing somewhere. You see, handling waste is a continuous process. It doesn't stop. It is not a one-time. It's not a one-time operation or one-time exercise. Check from the 50s. There has always been a day, sanitation day, cleanup days, operation clean your frontage, to date. That is not a solution. It's also a way of giving, we call something educational campaign. The best way is when there is an activity. It sends the message better than when you are saying it in conferences or in the classrooms.
All right.
When you do it this way, it's the best way to learn, okay? But this is not the solution. You have to understand what you are handling. Example, you remember when Chris cited the Aboboyes, that queue on that Bujumbura road coming to Accra.
Yeah.
We are there, you see, when you look at the chain, the generation, the collection, in the collection, they were told that we have something we call the collection systems. When you talk about the collection systems, you move smaller distances, okay? Then you go and dispose, or you go and release your collected garbage. In this case, we call them transfer stations at those areas. So when the Aboboya picks it, it doesn't have to move more than 5-10 kilometers. There should be a transfer station that one could go and release the garbage there. Then when the machines there compress it to a very larger volumes, then you have the trailers, the compactors. Now they will move it at appropriate time to the treatment centers, the treatment plants. Chris mentioned Arecorp and other places like ACAP, like the KCAP. These are proper engineering treatment plants. Then the big trailers will then move it at appropriate time. Then we don't compete with the Aboboyas on the stretch. They can stretch like 2-3 kilometers on that area that my brother Chris cited. You see, so the point is that one, the objective has to be clear.
Okay.
You have to understand what the problem is. Then you can diagnose. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, if this is the chain that have been established worldwide, and people are using the same thing to solve their problem. Example, in Singapore, we were sent to study their system for 1 month. Now there, they handle the flow of their water movement, what Chris mentioned. Everything is underground, whether it is road, whether it is a house or it's a hospital or something. You don't see the water. It's managed underground to its final destination. So there is no interruption of solid waste and the liquid. Everyone has its area. When it comes to the solid, what we are discussing, or part of what we are discussing in the environmental sector, they handle the entire chain. The collection system is solid. Now the treatment plants are there. Where the distances are far, they introduce the transfer station I am mentioning. And these are the things that has worked for some people, and it clearly shows that it will work for us because
Right.
we have some of these infrastructures available, just that it is inadequate. So the 2-day cleanup exercise is good. We'll all support, we will participate, we'll make sure we'll keep it up. But this is only education. It is
Okay.
not the solution. The solutions are there.
Right.
It has been done at other places and we can emulate. Thank you very much.
So essentially, we're just scratching the surfaces of the problem. We're not really fixing the systems. All right. Let me hear from you, Georgina, as well. What do you have to say along those same lines before we come to the business part of it, and then we can go?
Okay, so just like engineer just said, if there are other countries that are making good use of their waste and they are creating employment and making money out of that, I think it is something we can learn from. If you can travel from here to countries like places like Dubai and other areas for fun, because of the things we saw there, that they gave us the encouragement to go there for that fun. There was another country like Singapore that is doing something meaningful with waste. So we can use the same approach to learn from them and implement some of those things here. We are having cleanup exercises which are good and other stuff, but the main issue needs to be tackled. And that is finding proper solution to our waste management systems or sanitation issues in Ghana. If other countries are doing it and they are doing it well, I was about when engineers said they were sent there to go and learn for 1 month. I was thinking of the money that will go into that 1 month training and what impact has that made on us That is the main reason why people were sent there to go and learn. After all that they have learned, what is that knowledge being used for?
Right.
These are the things we keep doing. We keep going for conferences, workshops, and we have been learning so many things, but we don't put them into practice. And that has become a major challenge. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, looking at the policies, looking at implementing them, having the eye of a business on our waste management systems and everything. It's a call on policy makers, let me say government, people like you, that is the media, entrepreneurs like myself, engineers like engineer we have here, and a company like CISA. We need to have this discussion more than what we have been doing. And after the discussion, the practicality should be seen.
Right.
That is the way forward. Looking at our assemblies and the landfill site issues, like Chris was saying earlier, we are having these cleanup exercises. Where are we going to dump all this waste that we are going to collect from our various communities? It is going to end up at the landfill sites. So if the landfill sites are full, we should have given a priority to that area before we even think of the cleanup. But it is what it is. Going forward, there are so many things we can do. And I think this discussion shouldn't end here.
Right.
We need to get individuals with like-minded ideas who can come together and start pushing some of this agenda.
Okay.
I think by so doing, we will be able, even if not this generation, the next generation will be able to do something. We can learn from Singapore, and Ghana can also become like Singapore.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Now let's come to the business bit of everything. All right. So you started, Christopher, you started talking about the fact that it's a good space and there's money and all of that. Let's look at the business. Walk us through the waste value chain and, where the money actually comes from in the waste business.
Yes, thank you. So in terms of the value making out of the waste, based on the material that we are able to recover. So a typical example is within our own context. So I'm speaking in line with plastics.
Okay.
So I work in the plastic space because we do the recovery. So from the recovery, it gets to our facility. We do the sorting of the materials to meet the buyer's demand. So we sort it to its standard rate we have to sell. But some of these issues can be solved right from the households. With our current issues, I believe that it's a prompt call for us to start segregation our waste from source. So when you're able to segregate your waste from source, then you can equally sell them to people around you. You can sell them to CISA, you can sell them to other viable companies around. Because even people go to various households to do the collection of the Piota harvest, they sell this material. So if you are able to even segregate even your aluminum, when you buy sardine, you buy corned beef, you have the cans, you can, as soon as you are done consuming it, rinse it, have a stockpile of it. If you don't want to make money out of it, you can equally volunteer, give it out to someone who is working by doing the collection. It's not when people are passing through your bin that they have to come and dismantle your bin.
Right.
So every material has value. The beverage cans, shampoo containers, roller containers, our dead phone batteries, our car batteries, car bumpers, when we have accidents, all these materials are valuables. So when you're able to segregate them, it's about you finding the viable people to sell them or trade them to, and you get your money.
Okay.
In the same way, if you don't even have the resources to, when people ask, how do you venture into the business? It's not about you starting and having a big facility. No. You can equally go and volunteer with someone, collect for someone, educate somebody in an estate, and you are able to improve on that to make value out of it.
Right.
So, for instance, when before I even started CISA recycling, I was using a bicycle to do collection of cardboards from various shops. So at the close of day or at dawn, I drive to those various locations to collect the cardboards. Those who saw that I was doing that, equally, some people want money from it. So, a specific example, I have some waste pickers. When they go to various households to do the collection of the plastic bottles, probably sometimes at the end of the year, they provide some incentives to the households to show appreciation of what they have done in terms of segregating their waste, because it's a source of livelihood for them.
For them, right.
So every material that we find in our society, it's of value. Being it metal, being it TNG, being it bumper, PVC, wires, all these materials are valuables.
Right.
Every kilo counts, because every material that you are recovering or using counts. We have companies who are using them for roof tiles, lumbers and other stuff. So there are so many opportunities in the space that because one person cannot do it all by himself. We all have a role to play.
Right. Now, so by all the things that you mentioned, even the segregation and all of these things, you don't need money to start them, right?
No. So that is why I'm a big advocate for the various municipal assemblies having probably a recovery center. Because
what's that?
The recovery center, for instance, like the transfer stations, so that these guys don't travel long distance. So, for instance, if every community, so thank you to Gayo and Lade Kotopon. So, for instance, when you have a space within the community, people who are able to segregate their waste within the community, they're able to bring the plastics, the food wastes, so that this food waste can be composted.
Right.
The plastics can be returned into, say, other values. I don't want to talk much, because even though we're having some challenges in the plastic space, so currently we have the food grade and the textiles companies in terms of the plastic bottles. So with the food grade, they turn them into the same bottles again for us to be able to use. But then, because of some policies, they are not able to use them much more locally. That is why we have to resort in exporting these plastic materials. Even though some of them are being used locally. For instance, the HDP, the PVC, for instance, they are being used locally for the same materials again. So it's about ensuring that the circularity that we keep preaching about.
Right.
It's not only about plastics, it's about textiles. You buying a cloth and discarding it off, leaving it along the shores. You have to know the end life of the material that in which you are buying from the market. So it's all about the mindset
as well. Right. I mean, you do a lot more of the plastics, and so let me come to Doc. Now, Dr. Ahmed. Now, you are with the Sewage Systems Ghana Limited. Tell us what the value chain also looks like at your end and where the money can be found.
Yes, thank you very much, Hammond. You see, we have spoken more about the solid waste, which has always been the trend when it comes to sanitation.
Yeah.
But one aspect also is the liquid waste or the wastewater or the fecal sludge. You see, as for the value in waste, Chris has mentioned a lot. All these materials have value, but you see, the measure of segregation. I will start and then come and land on the wastewater to give also a fair idea of what happens.
Okay.
The measure of the segregation, it has business and economic dimensions. You see, when you mix them, but your primary objective is to recycle and treat. It means when you mix, you are creating cross-contamination of the materials. That's why you see some of the plastic, you see that they are very dirty when they are mixed. Then its recovery value will then go down. Okay. But the other aspect is that, remember Madam Georgina was mentioning some red color, some brown color, and those things. These are some of the code we use or is expected to be used to segregate the waste. But remember the chain. Collection is part of the chain. Now, when we segregate and we have about 2 or 3 or 4 bins, it means the collection, it has to go on multiple trends. That is, if we want to do the proper segregation and treatment. If I have 4 bins, it means my collection have to be 4 because you don't have to make them to pollute them.
Yeah.
That is one aspect. And this also cost to whoever who is operating in the collection area. You see. So the dynamics have to be agreed because it is highlighted in the policy, okay, that private sector will be allowed to play a major role in the waste management, whilst the public sector will supervise. Okay, so if that is the case, it has also been highlighted in the policy that there will be a full recovery for the operators. But if full recovery and we are going to do segregation, are we ready to pay the cost for those who are operating in the collection system for 3 or 4 bins? This is also another dynamics that we have to make it clear and then implement, because in that case, either government will take the shock or the polluter will pay.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So this is one business or economic areas that sometimes we don't mention, but it is important we highlight. Now, again, when we talk of the other side, which we have not mentioned, you see, it's either you save a cost or you make a value out of something. It's all accepted. When you come to wastewater management, which is also part of the 10, it's part of the 10 areas that have been highlighted in our sanitation objective. Okay, wastewater is part, just like storm and solid. Now, with the wastewater, when it comes to Accra, some areas are sewered, like the ministries itself, like the Parliament House, Dansuma, Rich, Kolebu, are sewered. When they make their wastewater, it doesn't stay there. It moves away from there and goes to collection systems for the sewer area, which we call them pumping stations. And it pumps from there, then it goes to a treatment plant. So you see how the wastewater one works. Then the plant will treat. So in this case, you are preventing something bad to happen like cholera and others. And then when you process it well, the sludge, you can also use it to create also compost from it, which also come to add as a value. But your real value is your prevention by treating the wastewater. You see how this one works?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the major part that we do, because we don't have most of these sewer lines. So the major part of our area is the suspect tracks you see. What goes to our individual homes and then come and pull our toilet from our homes when our tanks are full. That's the one we know very well. It is visible to all of us. Now, when they go and suck, what do they take it? When there are no treatment plants, some of them, anywhere they find in rivers, drains, and those things, they also dump it there.
Yeah.
That's why there's a plant in Lavender Hill Fecal Treatment Plant, one of the plants that sewage system manage. The suspect trash goes there, and they receive about 200 to about 300 trucks a day. If such plants are not there for treatment, which is part of the chain we are managing for the liquid, where would they have gone? In previous days, they were used to dump it in the ocean.
Right.
Around Jamestown, where they have named it Lavender Hill. The lavender is an ionic name because of the scent. Now the scent is no more. Those days, when you look at the 90s and the early 2000s, anytime there is a flood, 3-4 days, you will see cholera outbreak around Jamestown and Kolegono because of the way it was being managed. But now it is no more.
It is no more.
You see, so government has no business doing business in sanitation. It should create the sector, public sector like the MMDAs and others to supervise, and then put all the companies that are operating and interested, integrated together, and then they operate. They do the same thing in Singapore. There's nothing like rivalry. Any strength you have, you bring it on board, then you combine as one force. Then you handle the waste management issues. So these are some of the dynamics.
Doc, maybe some 2 or 3 points that you can mention specifically that supports that you think that private companies need from government.
One, One, one is funding. And when we talk about funding, there are two options. We have the upfront funding, and then we have the recovery funding. They are all funding. Either I'll build my infrastructure, no matter how small it is, movable or stationary, but playing a role in the sanitation sector. Then, when I am done, every tonnage that I handle in that sector, whether it is treatment, whether it is collection, whether it is recycling, whichever chain I play a role, you pay me pay a certain ton. This is international standard. It's established and it's done everywhere. But you do your cost models, you get your approval, then you be paid per tonnages. You understand? For instance, if somebody does the collection, is that at the end? No. Somebody will do treatment, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and in between the collection and the treatment, someone will also do the recycling. And each state has its capacity to handle. So by the time you end for disposal, the quantity of the waste has reduced, because as you are moving along every chain, it is moving into different dynamics. So you pay everyone per the tonnages he has what? He has handled. It is done. In Singapore, we mentioned. So the remaining ones that we cannot recover, the one that we cannot use for compost, the small one that we left, we either decide we'll do energy or we go and landfill it,
Right.
depending on the availability of land mass. So this one area, either upfront fund or recovery funding. You understand?
Okay.
And then the other one I said is the government has no business doing some of the business in the waste management. It should leave with the private sector. Okay. Then and by doing this, the policy should be clear, because there's some inconsistency in the policy. Today, documented policy says that the private sector and the NGOs and the community led should do it. But another time, there will be another directive, which is also a policy that will say that no, MMDA, MMDC should do it. So
Right.
if I've invested today and tomorrow you said MMDC should do it, between time and now, what will I be doing? So there should be consistency from government so that private sector can drive, and there should be funding. As for the
Okay.
funding, it's very important.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me bring Lady Georgina into the conversation now. She's been quiet for some time. So now, Lady Georgina, now I'm sure you also work, I mean, with a lot of waste and all of these things. And there are investors that often look for sectors, with good potential. This morning we are saying that one of the areas is that they should turn their attention to waste. What opportunities exist for investors in maybe in recycling, in composting, and maybe circular economy businesses? What opportunities exist for them?
Okay, thank you. All the three you made mention of is a good venture for investment. Look, taking liquid waste, for example, I manage a municipal landfill site. So all the liquid waste within Prisia Valley come to the landfill site where I manage, and they just come to dump it for nothing. They just dump it, and just like engineer made mention of, if Singapore is turning liquid waste into either a compost or is it LED gas or something, it is something Ghana can do same. So that whole alone is another investment point that anybody with the resources can venture. Coming back to composting, we have a lot due to the kind of food we eat in our country. We generate a lot of organic waste, which can also be used into the production of organic compost in large quantity. It's another investment venture. Then the recycling aspect, just like Cesar said earlier, go to Kumasi right now, and it is either Chinese or Lebanese that are having those companies around. So it's like those of us in the waste management, you do your segregation and you send the materials, and you are going to sell to these Chinese and Lebanese. So when we do that, most of the investment goes to them. Though they are investing their money, but they tend to get more, which the money doesn't stay here. It goes back to their country. So with the investment opportunities, it is within the whole value chain,
Right.
from the collection to the segregation, production, then the recycling aspect. Some of us, we are into it, just like I said earlier. With regards to the composting, for instance, if I have the material, you can calculate the number of waste that is being generated in Prisia Winnie Valley alone that comes to that 10-acre landfill site. So if I have an investor who can invest in machinery, imagine the kind of money we will be making.
Right.
And the money doesn't go anywhere. It will stay in Ghana because we own the landfill sites. We are generating the waste and our people are working on it. If there are funding opportunities, I think they should look well into the waste management again, because there are so many things that they can invest in. And it's like looking at the circular economy. Everything that comes to the landfill site is meaningful. And with that too, we will even make good use of our landfill site, because most of the things will be sorted and it will be left with something small that will land at the landfill. We are investing so much in pushing the waste at the landfill, in maintaining the landfill, of which that investment can go into manufacturing or recycling of some of the waste. It's a good opportunity for investment. So anybody that is listening to us and looking for a place to invest, it should be in the waste management sector. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me bring Christopher. Now, Christopher, we've spoken extensively about it. I mean, you are already in the space. Will you say that the waste management sector can realistically turn around the unemployment situation in this country? If yes, what are some of the things that must be done as soon as possible so that we can get things moving in the space?
Thank you very much. So, yes, the waste management issues can turn around, even from one angle. So we have a lot of high buildings coming around. What issues or what systems has been put in place to help manage the waste? So just yesterday, I was at one apartment which has about 43 units apartment around Cantonment. So they realized that their waste generation was too high. So now they are looking at how best they can cut down their waste. So this is a good move. So here, then meaning that they are going to create employment for people who are going to help them with the segregation from source.
Okay, so there are jobs in segregation.
Segregation.
Okay.
The one going to collect the material to transport to the facility.
Collection. With
the collection, you're going to employ a driver, an assistant, at least 2 assistants. So meaning that 3. Then, equally indirectly, you're also engaging somebody when it gets to the end, somebody who is going to offload. Mean there's also an employment over there.
Right.
So in line with our work, in every stage has an opportunity that you can actually venture into. As you can see, people going around daily activities doing the collection. That is where we are now.
Right.
But what I don't want to talk much, so we can do more. But then the citizens need to take a key look at our waste, the waste that we are generating.
Right.
We have to think about it very well.
Okay.
When you go to the market, whatever you are buying, think about it.
Right.
I live in a compound where I keep preaching to them that we are going to pay more for our waste. So it's better we start changing our mindset about the waste that we are generating.
Okay. Right. All right. So, gentlemen and lady, we have to go now. I think that we've given a lot of value in different things. And I like how the conversation has gone. I mean, we touch on this small, so that everything, once you put everything together, it will be a full package. Now, we need to change. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole waste management thing involves every citizen. And we need to change the public behavior around waste. And I know that is quite difficult. What can we do? What are some of the simple things, or how realistic is it for households to even, and businesses to be able to, change that particular mindset? What can we do about it so that right from now we can begin to see waste differently, and people will be able to get into that space? And so let me just take that as your final thoughts, and then we can go. So let me start in studio with you, Christopher.
I believe we our main head, that's the local government. They should improve on the systems. If you've been appointed to handle the planning department, the sanitation department, enforce the laws. The bylaws that are there, enforce them. Let them work. Ensure that you are making it work so that people will gain out of it. Because if we don't do, we will still come back again and do Friday, Saturday cleanup exercise. First week of every month, we'll do cleanup exercise. So let's enforce them. Let's enforce the bylaws that we have. The local assemblies have bylaws. Let's enforce them. Let's make sure that the waste management companies within our territories, we are monitoring them, because they've taken it upon themselves to work in the waste industry. So when they are not going to their pickouts from the various areas that you've allocated to them, pressure them, ask them questions, and they'll be able to deliver. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, same question to you, Doc. Maybe your same question, and then your final words.
Yes, thank you very much, Hammond. I want to start from the societal interruptions. You remember Chris mentioned citing he saw some fuel station being built and he made a call.
Yeah.
Remember the response that we have done our part, but there is some, yes. I call it societal interruptions. The bylaws my brother is mentioning. The people, they know, they are willing to enforce it, but these societal interruptions is giving them problems. But we all know where it's coming from. So we want to plead to everybody. If you are called that is something I have done which is bad and come and intervene, only intervene according to what the laws are saying, but don't intervene against what the law have said because it's your brother or a family. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm trying to manage the word so that we don't, yes, because they say societal people who also pay us and things like that. But it's a problem which we have to mention. So we should change from that societal interruption. We should stop those things. It's not good. It's the major factor in all these problems that we are discussing, affecting business people as well. Now, the next one I'm also highlighting is we, the generators of the waste. You see, solid waste should go to solid bins. We have distributed some bins to people to put their solid waste inside. And you know, interestingly, Hammond, what happened? I'll tell you two things. One, people took the bin and they are using it to store water. This is one. Attitude issue. Now, two. Now, some, not everybody, some also, when we collect the bins, thinking that we are taking the solid waste, it contains physics tied in the polythene bags. So you see, we have a serious attitude which we have to change. I'll only mention these two: societal interruptions and paying attention to where we are going to store what we are generating. Please, solid for solid, liquid for liquid. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Let me hear from Lady Georgina too, finally, and then we can go.
Okay, thank you. Finally, you said it all. A nation building is a call on each citizens, and it's up to all of us to make things go good as how we all want it. Taking into consideration our attitude towards how we treat everything If you are a chief and someone is calling you because the person is doing something bad and the assembly is trying to stop the person, and you are a chief, just like engineer just said, act accordingly to the law. You, the individual, either you are a pastor, whoever you are, before you intervene on anything that is a relationship between either a citizen or the assembly, or anybody doing something wrong and the authorities are trying to correct the person and you are going in, go in as a good citizen and make sure whatever you are going to bring on board is something that is going to help the nation. Why will you sweep, keep the rubbish at home, wait for raining season, or wait to see that it is about raining, then you just dump into the gutter? Ask yourself this question: where is that waste going to? Whatever we are doing to the nature definitely have effect on our lives.
Yeah.
So we should treat the nature as ourselves. We should see Mother Nature as human being, as our children, as our mothers, as our family, so that whatever we are doing to nature, we will feel it. And through that, we will be able to treat nature very well, which will have positive impact on us. To end it all, Ghana is for us, and it will take good citizens of Ghana to build the better Ghana we all want.
Right.
Thank you for the opportunity this morning.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful that you also made time to join us. Really grateful to you, Christopher, for coming in studio for this conversation. Thank you very much. And Dr. Ahmed, thank you too for also joining us this morning for all. For this conversation. So that's how we wrap up today on the Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM. My guests were Engineer Dr. Ahmed Isahaku. He is General Manager of Sewerage Systems Ghana Limited, and also Ms. Georgina Odum. She's a CEO of Useful Waste. And I was also joined in studio by Christopher Jan Mensah. He is a founder of Cesar Recycling. And the point is clear that, waste is not just waste. It is a resource. And so we have to turn our attention to that, and all of us can contribute to making this country a better place if we're able to manage our waste well, and also look for some of the opportunities in there. The call is to government, the call is to everybody, to business owners, to investors, to the Ghanaian people generally. If you're listening to us this morning, you have a role to play in there. Please identify that role and play it very, very well. Let's make this country a better place. And so that's all. We're back again tomorrow for another interesting conversation. Until then, please keep listening to Z101.9 FM. My name is Nitrebi Hammond, and up next is A Brighter Side with Jeremy Okoria Marco. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.